Welcome to Movie Speeching. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take good care. Legend of the Fist is the name of the movie. Please like and subscribe to get every update. The motion picture starts in France in 1977, where the Chinese government dispatched 150,000 laborers. Rather than troopers to Europe to battle nearby, the partnered powers Chen Han leads his men to outlive on the front line. He's battling hand in hand with their adversaries and overseas to murder them all at the war's conclusion. In spite of the fact that China was one of the triumphant, it was overlooked by the other partners, and Japan possessed Qingde and Shandong. In 1925, Shanghai got isolated into settlements, and Japan was expanding its impact and planning for the intrusion of China. Ace Liu Yun, a Shanghai head honcho, arrived at his club frequented by remote dignitaries and got invited by the individuals around there. In spite of the continuous war, his trade is booming, and agreeing to him, the more inconvenience there's, the more cash they will make afterward. Whereas a lady is performing the Japanese ask a tune in the long run, the piano player Chen Zhen, who returned as Chidi Anyuan, turns it to ancient language, which causes the Japanese to induce frantic. Ace L comes to him and inquires on the off chance that he's the one who came from France, and inquires to have a drink with him. Afterward they play cards, and Ace Lu gets near to him. Afterward that night they arrive at an inn where Kiki the entertainer holds up for Lu. Sometime recently they separated ways. He said thanks to Lu for the night. After that he tells his comrades he's presently Lu's trade accomplice, be that as it may, this causes the others to stress since he's getting to be high profile and taking more dangers. The other part says that getting L on their side is nice, as they got to spur each Chinese to battle against the Japanese. Chen says entering the group of three and the civil police will advantage their development. In the meantime, Colonel Teshi Chiashi of the Japanese Armed Force Common Staff Office in Hano Dojo learns that the Brits got a hold of their expedite plan, so he stands up to three of his individuals who did it, which inevitably leads to him murdering them all. At that point he tells the rest of his officers that each Japanese trooper ought to be prepared to pass on the taking. After day, Chen learns that the Japanese arranged to kill Kamen Yung, the child of a northern warlord, and thrust the fault on Kamen Joe, a match warlord. Minutes afterward the two officers arrive with their young ladies to banter over hot poot. Song takes off Casablanca and stands close where the two commanders are having supper. Once the commanders wrapped up eating, Kamen Joe and his spouse went to begin with, and they got swarmed. Exterior passed on. At that point Kamen Yung, taken after up with her sweetheart, conjointly got overwhelmed. Once the death begins, Chen arrives camouflaged as a masked warrior, murders all the professional killers, and spares Kamen Yung. Chen drives their car off, and General Yung inquires him why he spared his life, and he says that it wasn't his objective, and tells him to tell his father to halt colluding with the Japanese, and he clears out within the Japanese Central Command. One of the warriors says they back Commander Zhang and shouldn't have attempted to murder his child, but he says that Young's passing would start a respectful war between the two warlords and help the consequent Japanese intrusion. Chiarashi's men concede fault for the fizzled operation, but he says that deaths continuously come with that. Instead he orders to know who the superhero is. On the other hand, the resistance and Chen conversation, almost a mastered warrior and symbol of resistance to the Japanese. They tell him to keep that for whereas which a diverse identity for him is nice. They moreover told him they would run a report, almost the concealed warrior. Appropriately, the taking after day, the concealed warrior is all over the daily paper. The news comes to Chi Arisher, so he holds an assembly with his men and his spies in Casablanca. When he inquires in case there's anything suspicious in Casablanca, a lady stands and says that Lu incorporates a modern accomplice who looks suspicious. She says that Chuan returned from France and he utilized to be a laborer within the war in Europe. She claims that he hit off with Lu quickly and got to be a club accomplice. At that point she inquires Kiki, and she says that her mission is to urge near to Henry the Brit, but since there are as well numerous individuals in Casablanca, she doesn't take note him with that. She guarantees to see out for Yuan. Instep that night in Casablanca, Kiki goes to Lu to inquire authorization to go out with Chen. They at that point ride a bike to Chen's companions who are having a drink. When they arrive they present themselves to her, and she presents herself as Chen's sweetheart. She too meets Yuan's sister, whom she introduces as her sister, for he's pretending to be Yuan. Kiki inquires approximately Chen Han and the rumors that the Japanese shot him, and he says that the Japanese didn't murder Chen Han. He battled with them for a long time in Europe and is their brother. After some drinks they go domestic, and Kiki inadvertently drops her satchel with a little gun. When she's around to take off she focuses the weapon at Chan and inquires him who he is. At that point they chuckle together, claiming she's intoxicated. She says that Lu gave it to her for security and appears him an ancient photo she took from their put, which he tells her to keep later. She tells him that her genuine title is Fanqing and takes off. On the other side, Tokyo sends a list of anti-Japanese activists to Chick 2, requesting him to murder the individuals on the list. Then he spills out the list. Meanwhile, the resistance, moreover, has the list, and they choose not to distribute it because it will, as it were, offer assistance. The Japanese make a freeze in Shanghai. In any case, the taking after day, the list is as of now within the daily paper. Knowing that he's one of the individuals recorded, Lu calls the police. He inquires them what safety measures they're taking since he's concerned that his clients might run off. But Examiner Hong can't tell them any plans that the police are taking, but for their observing the situation, which causes Lu to urge frantic. Amid their discussion, the Japanese arrive at the Casablanca. The Japanese are beginning to cause inconvenience as no young ladies need to sit at their tables, so Chen comes to them. Chen presents himself to them, but Chick Arisher tells him he's well educated around him and hands him an ancient photograph. He says that the man in that photo is additionally Chuan and ought to choose who the charlatan is. He inquires him in the event that he knows who the pole warrior is, and he talks approximately the film sense of that. Chick Arisher tells him that presently that the passing list has come out. He ponders in the event that the masted warrior will meddle. He acts as on the off chance that he's considering, and after that says that he will. Chick Arisher at that point tells him to put on a bet and wagered in case numerous individuals kick the bucket, or the masted warrior will save more. At that point he flips a silver coin and hands it to Chen. Lu enters their discussion, and Chick Arisher inquires why he let him be his accomplice, whereas turning them down. L says that his trade ought to be more noteworthy for the Japanese and tells them to open a greater one. All of a sudden the media arrive. Chicky snatches Lu and says that being in Casablanca is sufficient verification that the Japanese and Chinese are great companions. Be that as it may, when he takes off he tells Lu that he'll return when he has time, but Lu says something else abruptly. Chen calls Chick Arisher and hands him one of the rings he got from the professional killers amid the attack on Jung the another day. Chan and Chick Hirashi lock in a race of time to spare and kill the activists individually. A few got slaughtered, whereas others overseeing to elude from Shanghai. Since Chick Arisher is outrunning Chen, Chen orders one of the resistance Puppy Gong to tell the Chinese laborers to induce, prepared to bolster the understudy development. At some point afterward, Chen goes to Casablanca and spends time with Kiki alone. Kiki inquires him in case he is considered taking off Shanghai and offers to take off with her, but he tells her that in the event that everything passes on, he'll take her absent. Inevitably, Chick Kishi's more youthful brother Sasaki leads a group of professional killers to kill the editor of the Shanghai Times. Chen slaughters Sasaki but comes up short to spare the editor in time. Meanwhile, Chen is back in Casablanca and playing the piano, saying that it's the tune his comrade who passed on in Europe battling for their nation instructed him. Unbeknownst to them, Lu is observing them from a remote place. On the other hand, the Chinese laborers accumulate to join together and protect China afterward, whereas Chen is considering. He realizes the two young ladies are spies in Casablanca and one of them is Kiki, so he meets with Kiki and inquires her what she does there, to which she claims to be a master. He tells her he trusts she doesn't work with the Japanese and never returns or he'll murder her. In the meantime, Chikarashi begins doubting Kiki and forpowers her to slaughter Common Jung's sweetheart Vivian, one of her near companions. He says that since Joe contradicts Jung's participation with them, they will plant the kill as in case he did it so that Jung would slaughter him. One night the Japanese trap Chen on the road, thump him oblivious, and bring him to their central station to torment him. Concurrently, Hang and their companions arrive at the base and arrange a strike. Whereas that's going on, the Japanese proceed their torture of Chen. Chikarashi comes with Kiki and the other spy. Minutes afterward, he tells Chen that he's as well careless he slaughtered Swasi Chiyashi, the Hanono Dojo, who was Chiyarashi's father. He mumbles that the Chinese aren't wiped out men of East Asia. At that point, a Japanese trooper reports to Chikarashi almost the inconvenience in their base camp. He at that point orders his men to let go of Chen and he'll take him to dojo to retaliate for his father's passing. On the other hand, Chen's companions cause extreme harm with explosives, sometime recently escaping the scene. Afterward, Chikarashi arrives at their central command to see the fiasco. He pulls out the ancient photo of Chan and his companions, saying it's diversion over. On the other hand, they drop Chen close Casablanca, where the individuals promptly offer assistance him. The taking after day, the Japanese track down Chen's comrades and kill them and hang their bodies in exact retribution, but they save Tamwan's sister. In any case, Chen is still oblivious and recouping with the assistance of Lu Heng. Along with Tamwan's sister, visits him and inquires him to wake up as they can't do it without him. Alternatively, the understudy nonconformists begin moving once more. Heng stops them as they're around to urge to the Japanese tour and won't be able to assist them once they cross, but they tell him that they do not offer assistance from a cop other than he works for non-natives and doesn't speak speak to the Chinese, a commotion begins when they constrain them to go. And the Understudies' conclusion up and imprison the British boss of Hang chastens him for not doing anything. Almost the Understudies outfitted insurrection and claims they must be indicted something else. He ought to figure out what to tell the Japanese. Be that as it may, Hang tells him they're within the British settlement and he doesn't have to. When the Brit tells him to buzz off, he tells him it's China and begins standing up for his nation. Afterward, Chen wakes up and Hang tells him how the Japanese hang their companions. He instantly embraces Zishan Yuan's sister, who breaks down crying. After that, Lu comes to him to tell him that the Japanese and Jung murdered Zhou and his wife. He tells him they have as of now misplaced and the two can't spare the world. In Casablanca, Kiki and two other Japanese arid wearing the Japanese armed force uniform. Lu tells her that he got stressed since he didn't come to work for long, and she says that she's Captain Yamaguchi of the Japan's J's armed force, which shocks Chen. She says she came there on sake of the Japanese armed force and trusts he can offer assistance. Them discover somebody. She says they're seeking out for Chen Han, but Lu says Chen is as of now dead, and they capture his assistant Deng. When Lu inquires what the result is, on the off chance that he can't deliver him, she tells him that they have extended their settlement range and are ready to bring within the troops, so in the event that he doesn't grant him, they will have an pardon for an assault. Kiki tells him he's running out of bartering chips, so he orders his men to slaughter the two Japanese escorts and tells her he still has one W. Afterward, Chen goes to the Jianwu athletic affiliation where his ancient uniform is. He wears it and gets his special necklace to get ready to battle Chick Arisher. At the same time, the opposing party is additionally planning for their battle. After that, Kiki escorts Chen and the Chinese individuals chant his title. When they arrive at Dojo, Chikashi tells him he's been holding up for him. Chan talks around how nothing has changed within the dojo, and Chikarashi tells him there's no ought to alter since the Japanese are born solid. He pretentiously says that in case that's so, the result will be the same. Chick Arisher will lose. The Japanese appear him the dead body of Dong, and Kiki runs to Chick Arisher telling him that he promised her to save his life in the event that she gets Chen. However, he moreover kills her, saying he'll slaughter everybody who contradicts them. One of the Japanese warriors tells him that like Kiki and Zan, ladies are as it were toys for men, causing him to be incensed and assault him. After he kills him, the rest of the Japanese assault him all at once. When he slaughters them, he goes to Kiki and after that faces Chicker. He gets thumped out to begin with, and amid that he thinks back almost the battle for his nation. At that point, stands up and evaluates his best. He battles Chick Arisher more grounded and manages to kill him, thinking about all his dead companions. He at that point observes him there and hurls the silver coin he utilized as a bet with the passing list. The motion picture closes with Chick Arisher getting replaced by another officer. Chen puts on his superhero ensemble to continue helping the resistance development and its battle against the intruders. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.